Thank you, Erin. Good morning. My name is Carrie Casey. I am the chair of the Delaware Continuum of Care. Welcome to our spring quarterly meeting. I think currently we have 82 participants, which is just amazing. If you are new to our quarterly meeting, welcome. I hope you all have had a good few months since we last met. It's spring, it's beautiful out. You know, it's kind of a time to really I feel like just every day is like a new day. So welcome. We have a lot of information to cover. I might be echoing a little, so just make sure that you're muted if you're not speaking. I know I'm sort of echoey. So we're going to get started. Welcome again. I think we can go to the next slide. Is that right? Okay. So here's the agenda for the day, for the morning. And we have, we're really like putting our Zoom expertise to the next level. And I've got to give Housing Alliance Delaware kudos. We're going to do breakout rooms today. We've never done that, or I've never done that before, but it's super awesome. I think a great way to get smaller groups together and discussing things. And we have a lot of really awesome, wonderful things to discuss. So that's the agenda, business announcements, and then right into those breakout rooms. So thanks. Next slide. All right. So I have the really distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the Delaware Continuum of Care's new board member. Kim Eppiheimer is the executive director of the Friendship House. I'm sure most of you know the Friendship House, but it is as a nonprofit organization uniting people facing homelessness with loving, supportive communities they can call home. Kim is the executive director, the leader of this group. Friendship House has been around for decades, and I have to say it has just been it's just really an honor to work with Kim. I have the honor to be working with her daily, I think probably 7 days a week, on the Hope Center project. She, answered the call to as winter approached during this crazy time that we live in. And Friendship House has been with us since day one, providing case management and 24-hour support to the 200 plus guests that live at the Hope Center currently. And I have to say, this is something that Friendship House really, not that they operated in their own silo, but they had a program. It worked outside of our coordinated entry system. They didn't really weary, which we can all understand, in taking government funding because of all the strings. They do what they do and they do it well. And I say that with the coronavirus pandemic, this is where we've broken down so many silos that, Friendship House has partnered with the county and other jurisdictions to do this project. So, this is where working together through a crisis ends up benefiting the people that we all serve every day. So just want to say welcome to Kim. She's part of my bubble. Literally, we talk, work together, are side by side every single day since December 15th. So now I'm just so excited to welcome her to the CoC board. So welcome, Kim. So the other item I wanted to briefly touch on is the Continuum of Care board has formed a governance subcommittee. It's made up of myself, John Bates, our deputy vice chair, John Whitelaw, Susan Kent, and Marlena Gibson. So we have a really good mix of all different group, geographically as well as groups, where we are working with Donna T. Myers, an associate, to assist with our governance, how we operate as the CoC. We have a charter, which we put in place in 2015 when we first started. So the first sort of item of business is reviewing and updating that charter, looking at what other CoCs charters look like, some best practices, and incorporating some of those changes into our charter, and then also looking at the memorandums of understanding that we have with the Housing Alliance Delaware for coordinated entry, lead agency, and our HMIS system. And so that is really impactful work. We've been wanting to do it for a long time. And the first meeting was on the 8th, and we will be meeting every other week. And we'll be bringing all of these changes to the full membership once we, get it all hashed out. This is really exciting work for us, kind of the next phase of the CoC. How do we make it stronger? How can we strengthen our work? And having this consultant, Donna Myers and Associates, is really going to be great. And I also wanted to thank the members of the governance subcommittee, because this is going to be, every other week. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be really, the way to get the CoC to our next step. So thanks to all, and then that's where we are with the governance subcommittee. So thank you. Okay. And I think I'm turning it over to our next speaker.
Good morning. Thank you, Carrie. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Ellis. I am the chair of the Racial Justice and Equity Committee, and Paula Witcher is our co-chair. For decades, structural racism has created tremendous racial disparities in housing, and that legacy continues to shape our path even today. Racial disparities in housing manifest in various ways through housing segregation, housing quality, and even homelessness. And in an effort to address these racial disparities among Black individuals and families experiencing homelessness, this committee was formed. This committee is the newest subcommittee under the CoC's umbrella. It was formed in September 2020. The committee meets on the last Thursday of each month and currently has 14 active members. Our purpose is to analyze the negative impact of homelessness of people and communities of color, identify racial disparities in homelessness, and propose action steps to move toward a more equitable future in Delaware. Since our inception, we've centered our goals around advocacy, collaboration, and education, and recognizing that advocacy is the key to change, collaboration is the key to movement, and education is the key to awareness. We met with the Delaware Senate Housing Committee members, Senators Pinckney and Townsend, and during that meeting, we discussed topics such as racial equity, the need for more affordable housing in the state of Delaware, evictions and tenant protection, historical racial discrimination in housing, and tenant and source of income discrimination. Both senators indicated their support for the efforts of the committee that were brought forth and would like to remain engaged. We've collaborated with the CoC's Policy and Advocacy Committee and Homes Campaign members. A fact sheet was also outlined to describe racial disparities among Black individuals and families experiencing homelessness that we plan to use as an educational tool. So we would like to invite anyone who would like to partake in this work to join our committee. The work is plentiful and the laborers are few. So for anyone interested in joining the committee, please contact either myself, Paula Witcher, or Aaron Gallagher. Thank you.
Good morning. I just had to laugh with Kim's response about the laborers are few and the work is plenty, because it's true across any type of work you're doing connected to homelessness and housing, and particularly during this time. My name is Deborah Gilbert White. I'm co-chair of the Advocacy and Policy Committee, and Tony Ciezga is our co-chair as well of the committee. and we will be presenting together. I don't know, Tony, if you want to go first, since it's listed there, source of income report.
Yep, I'm happy to start with the source of income.
Okay, thank you.
So we, our committee has done some work or advocacy work on a Senate bill, which would essentially eliminate, currently with the State Fair Housing Act, the protections for source of income don't cover government assistance. So if we're talking, housing choice vouchers, and any type of government-backed assistance like that is currently excluded from the bill. And the Senate has expressed interest and is pushing for eliminating that loophole in the bill. About a month ago, there was a committee meeting, and with this, with our committee and our partners in the community, I think had a we had really positive representation during that committee meeting and during the public comment section of that. And I was pleased to hear, the amount of support that this bill received. So as the bill, comes out of committee and is moving forward, we want to continue to ask folks to, be in touch with any contacts that they have in the Senate, and to continue to push and emphasize that, this source of income change is going to do, it is going to be a fantastic change in terms of making affordable housing more available in Delaware. And particularly, I want to thank Kim again for the collaboration that our committees, worked on in our meeting with the senators to be able to emphasize that, this source of income, bill here it is a truly, important racial justice, initiative here. And so I think, that we're looking at making, positive, taking a positive step here in fixing our Fair Housing Act. And it's, really important that we continue to work on, advocating for this bill.
Thank you, Tony. And to follow up with that, it is true that we have to continue to collaborate not only across the CoC, but also in community. And one of those collaborations came around House Bill 58, which is the ask for help. I don't like to use the word panhandling because it brings another connotation to people actually in need and asking for help. And so we were able to sign on to a letter from across Delaware that was issued by the ACLU Delaware, and also Sarah Ryan with the Housing Alliance of Delaware was also instrumental in that as well, in helping people to understand that bill would be, criminalizing people experiencing homelessness further. It's not against the law to ask for help. And so we were able with that activity to get them to pull that bill from the legislation session for this year. And so hopefully we will begin to work with our legislators and other groups in the community to continue to look at homelessness and look at the things that lead to homelessness and lead to people asking for help, when they need it. Also, working with the Homes campaign and looking at the issues of housing, and also sexual harassment and housing. And there will be a meeting this evening with that, and I'll put that in the chat so that people can join in to see what we are doing connected to that work, but also looking at the right to counsel, which is another piece connected to advocacy and policy, where people will have representation when they are facing eviction, and people who are low income and poor in Delaware. Thank you.
Good morning, this is Kim. Good morning, this is Kim. I'm with the System Performance Committee. And we are a committee that improves data use for decision making and uses data to identify system gaps. We identify strategies to improve data and hopefully improve data outcomes. We are looking in the next year to do look at housing current participants, look at the CMS and what agencies are currently participating in CMIS, and looking to develop strategies to get those involved who are not currently involved in CMIS and also looking at ways of just improving our data coverage in those agencies. We're also looking to, we're hearing that there's increased data burdens on many of our providers. And so we're looking at ways that we can maybe reduce the data collection burdens, so that we get better data and that people have more time to actually provide services to clients, rather than keeping data in multiple places for multiple purposes. And then finally, the third thing that we're really looking to do this year is really looking at the data quality plan and other documents, and how we can maybe improve those plans and make them more living documents. So that is our kind of plans for the next year. And if anyone wants to join our committee, again, the work is plentiful, the workers are few. We'd be happy to have you join us. You can contact me or Aaron at the Housing Alliance. Thank you.
And one thing I just wanted to add to Kim's lovely presentation was a highlight that came out of this committee in the year 2020. In last year's review of the system performance metrics that get submitted to HUD, homeless street outreach was identified as a large gap in services in the homeless system. And through that identification and the resulting work, the CoC was able to get Brandywine Counseling funding to do a homeless street outreach through coordination with our ESG funders through CARES money. So that's very exciting that that outreach pilot will be getting up and running very soon, and that a large gap in homeless services will be filled as a result of the work of this committee. So I just wanted to give everyone who was involved in that a little recognition and shout out because it's very exciting.
Thank you, Erin. I missed that.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So I am Brandy Nauman with Sussex County Community Development and Housing, and I am the chair of the CoC Membership and Nominations Committee. And I do want to just give a big thanks to Felicia and Aaron for kind of giving this committee the jumpstart that we very desperately needed after being stagnant for quite a while. And thank you to the fellow members of the committee, Devin Manning, Tara Andrews, Tyler Shade, and Judson Malone. We have met twice already this year, and HAD has provided us with a detailed listing of Continuum of Care members, and our goal now is to organize them by HUD's CoC membership categories like local government, domestic violence advocates, public housing authorities, youth advocates, various service providers, and more. And so we will work on identifying the gaps in our membership based on those HUD requirements, but also where Delaware CoC has identified a need and a focus. And from there, we will work on re-engaging where necessary and/or reaching out to new members to fill the gaps. The committee has also drafted a membership plan, and this working document provides an outline for our strategic membership and marketing goals. And we plan to sort out exactly what it means to be a member of the CoC, especially as it relates to participation and engagement. And we really do want members to want to be engaged. So we hope to develop more benefits for membership. For example, we want to create content like newsletters and infographics for social media and an expanded website. So if you're interested in being a part of this group, please reach out to me or Felicia to join. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jo Allegro Smith. I'm the Executive Director for the Community Resource Center, and I'm so happy to be able to speak with you this morning about the Service Solutions Committee. I echo what Brandy just had to share. You know, we were off to a rock and rolling start in January of 2020 and then came to a screeching halt. But we have been doing some work behind the scenes. I want to acknowledge Aaron and Felicia for, again, lighting a fire under us and getting us geared up to move forward with the work that needs to be done. I'd also like to welcome my new co-chair, Ruth Ann Messick. Ruth Ann has been a member of the CoC board for quite some time. She's in a new role now with the Delaware Restaurant Association as their workforce development coordinator, and I'm really happy to have her as part of the leadership for this committee. So when we had the opportunity to get together physically, there were a couple of themes that emerged that were really important to the members that had gathered for that committee. And the first and foremost is that we really are tasked with developing a resource guide, but you know, in talking about this, everyone felt like, you know, it really needs to be a dynamic or living resource guide, something that is not just a bunch of paper or, you know, an electronic document that just gathers dust, but something that really is alive, where members are identifying, you know, what are the existing services that are available, what are the emerging needs that are presenting, you know, to the community, and what are the gaps. So this will be something that is a regular part of the committee work, is to, you know, come together and you know, create these resource guides so that providers can have access and the ease of identifying resources for their constituents. The committee also really expressed a firm commitment to making this solution oriented. Again, not just, you know, a document that, okay, our work is done here, but rather, you know, doing work that has measurable impact. And to that end, you know, one of the things would be enhancing communication among the providers. I mean, we do tend to, you know, get busy in our day-to-day work and kind of are working in our silos and may not have an awareness of the holistic range of services that may be available to the people that we serve. So, you know, it's not just, it's again, just not a stagnant committee, but a committee that really desires to have an impact in the community, to have an impact in the lives of the people that we serve. And so, you know, I'm looking forward to the work that that still needs to be done. As I said, we've been working behind the scenes, updating a resource guide that I guess was published a couple of years ago. And I appreciate all of the committee members that have assisted with that effort. It's still not a finished product yet. It'll never be a finished product, but there is some work to be done. But I think it's going to be, you know, something that will be very useful to the entire membership. So most recently, we've been spending some time confirming membership of the committee members that were serving on the committee. If you have received those emails from me and have yet to reply and are still interested in participating on the Service Solution Committee, please, just shoot me an email and let me know. We're also looking to recruit new members. I like the way Deborah said it. I think I would like to invite you to join our committee. Delaware is a small state, but the diversity within each county is huge. And so to have representation throughout the entire state, I think is an important goal for the committee. I will share that we really could use some members from Kent County. I think at this point, there's maybe just 1 or 2 members on the committee that are from Kent County. And of course, we're looking for membership throughout the state. So if you're interested, my email address, which is long and obnoxious, is posted there. You could also shoot a message to Felicia or Aaron, say, I'm interested in serving on the Service Solutions Committee. We do have another meeting lined up. Unfortunately, it's still going to be Zoom, but that will be May 4th at 10 o'clock. Aaron, you're awesome. You're a rock star. I see it posted there. I appreciate it. And again, I'll be sending out that Zoom link if you want to shoot me an email that you're interested in participating. I really think, we're kind of at the final phases of this resource guide, and then we can really roll up our sleeves and begin to talk about, how we can come together as a community of providers to have that collective impact that we all want to have. So I'm really excited to be able to share this information with you. I look forward to reconnecting with the members that were serving on the committee previously and to welcoming new committee members.
Thank you so much to everybody who are members of all of our committees, especially our chairs. The work you guys are doing is so important in pushing forward preventing and ending homelessness in Delaware from all aspects. So thank you so much for taking the time today to share about your committees with everybody. We do want to open the meeting to announcements before we move on to our breakout rooms. Any brief information about upcoming events or important information that anybody would like to share for their agencies. I believe Rachel has some announcements for HAD, so I'll go ahead and let her go first.
Thanks, Erin. I do have one brief announcement. Folks may have received this information via our email constant contact, but for those of you who may not be aware, we are at Housing Alliance hosting our annual Day for Housing soon. So it will be a virtual event taking place on May 26th, Wednesday, May 26th from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. We will be, the registration is available, and Sarah just put the registration link in the chat. We already have a little over 70 folks registered, so we're pretty excited. This is the annual event where we, as an organization, really focus on housing policy and advocacy. We have some speakers lined up, some legislators planning to attend, and we'll be doing some advocacy training as a component to that event as well. So we welcome everyone that we work with, of course, through the CoC and many of our other partners as well to join that event. Registration is required to attend, with more details coming and the agenda coming out publicly soon. So you will get a formal invitation with the registration link, but as I said, it is in the chat. Please, I hope you will join us. That's all I have. Thanks, Erin.
Anyone else should feel free to unmute themselves and give any announcements that they'd like.
Hi, this is Jo Allegro Smith again. I just wanted to share that here in Sussex County, BB Healthcare has partnered with the library system and are taking vaccinations on the road. They really are trying to reach out to folks that have barriers to accessing the vaccination, whether it's literacy or technology limitations, mobility, transportation issues. So the Community Resource Center will be hosting a vaccination event here on site at the Community Resource Center on Thursday, April 29th. I think that's next Thursday from 2 to 6. Pre-registration is required, but we're hoping to get vaccinations available to, the folks that are struggling most in terms of connecting with that. So if you have any questions, again, that long obnoxious email address, give me a call and I can give you more information. This is in Sussex County next week.
If there are no additional announcements, we will go ahead and move on to the breakout room. If anybody has anything that they would like to share with the group past this, please feel free to enter it in the chat so that everybody can get that information.
All right, so everyone, in just a moment, we will be opening our breakout rooms. You will have the option to the breakout room of your choice. We have 3 options. Room number 1 will be homeless service provider discussion on vaccinations and reopening plans. Breakout session 2 will be homelessness and housing policy update. And breakout session 3 will be a DHAP update and Q&A. If you, once you've made your selection, you will automatically be placed in that room. If you do not make a selection, one will be made for you at random. And the breakout sessions will last for the remaining of this meeting. So once your session is over, you are free to go. So those rooms will be opening up in just a minute and you will be able to make that selection.